Let us welcome Varun Nagalia, Global VP HR Tech at IKEA, with focus on technology agenda for people operations transformation and to create digital technology strategy for reward, talent, travel, and internal communication, along with Sunil Gupta, co-founder CEO at QNu Labs, with the mission of accelerating the world's transition to quantum safe security. Let's hear from them now.
Some introductions to start with. So if I've got the mic, let me start. I'm Varun. I am professionally leading currently HR technologies for Inca, an IKEA retailer, and also helping setting up their digital capability center in Bangalore. My past experience has largely been across two organizations, General Electric and Unilever, and a background running global transformation, global services, and recently bringing innovations in the employee experience space. I'm passionate about public speaking, experience design, and gamification. And that's me. So let me hand over to Sunil.
Thanks, Varun. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sunil Gupta. I'm a co-founder and a CEO of QNu Labs. My background is largely in product development and product engineering. Uh, I have spent 3 decades in the industry, and this current venture that I'm leading is actually about is a much higher purpose, where we are trying to put India on the forefront of deep tech technologies. We have a belief that time for India has come where India has to now go beyond services and really become a superpower in the deep tech. And the QNu Lab is a idea that we started in 2016 with the objective of building India's first deep tech company in quantum tech. So we have been around for 7 years now. Yeah. So, Varun, a very interesting work that you're doing. Uh, Please share that. I understand that you're trying to set up a GCC, right, in for IKEA in India. Uh, uh, there are just so many GCCs already been set up by so many multinationals in India, right? So how do you see the talent acquisitions, and what strategies are you adopting to really build a great talent pool?
Thanks, Sunil, for the question. I think first of all, we need to acknowledge the fact that India has a massive pool of talent in digital and in technology space, especially when it comes to deep technology or deep tech. I think we are a little bit blessed differently from a point of view of the industry that we operate in. We operate in retail, and in retail as an industry, competitive edge using digital and deep tech technology can come from anywhere. So a large part of our focus really is to build our own technology, and that really helps us in a from a competitive landscape perspective as to how we sort of acquire talent. For us at IKEA, I think we hire largely for values. We, of course, technology and technology mindset and technology depth is a given, but we hire for values, which then really allow us to bet on people and help them grow. For us, when we think about acquiring talent, and we are, with a big transformation that we have done in our digital landscape in Inca or in IKEA, we've we are now a relatively young organization, so we have a plethora of opportunities for us to pick from. So for us, it is really about finding the right talent, hire for the values, paint them the picture of opportunities, and just make sure that people can link to the value that they would generate. So for us, what we build is deployed internally, and people can see whoever we're building is not just a product that we deploy and somebody else uses it. It's we use our own product. So for us, getting to the consumers is that much bit easier, and getting that feedback instantly is that much bit easier for us. And then finally, we are a flexible organization which allow people to try out different things. So that's a really good value set that we have in the organization that we leverage on. But then, Sunil, if I can flip the question back to you, you've been in the industry for a very long time, and you've seen both startups and the enterprises. What is your experience around that?
Yeah, first of all, Varun, I just want to say that all of us are a great fan of IKEA, right? I have so many products, so I think we all understand the innovative products that IKEA bring to the table, right? So, see, when we started a deep tech, and honestly, I got three feedback, right, from the several people that I talked to. They said it's not a great idea. In fact, some people said it's a stupid idea, right? You won't get talent. you won't get funding, you won't get even market share. 7 years later, we proved all the three things wrong, right? And the most thing that I'm very proud of is the talent part, right? So in a deep tech, as you know, that it's always a long gestation period, and especially the deep tech that we were working on, we call it a 4 phases: the proof of science, proof of tech, proof of business, and proof of scale. So for us, initially 2 years, it was very important because we were going to look at quantum physics and really understand head or tail of it, and then try to see how do we make a product and IP around it, right? With using that. So we needed a core team who has a sufficiently good experience, uh, who have the knack of uh, solving problems, right? And with patience. And so that's what we did is when we started this, we said the foundation has to be very solid. So we said we're going to go ahead and these people are the ones who will not only join for technology or for they need to join for a vision, right? And a passion to what they're doing. So we were very particular about forming a core team that largely came through our own network, right? And so that was the important part, that we get the right people who are very much glued. And I remember that I had spent so much time with our key people, our chief growth officer, chief CTO, and so on, where actually we brought them on board after months of discussions, right? And only when they were fully excited, they fully understood what we're trying to do, we brought them in. So I think deep tech, getting a talent is definitely one of the most important thing, right? Because that is what is fuels the whole engine, right? So that's the whole idea, was that we get this thing, and once we get a core team in place, then these people, we trusted them that they will hire better people than themselves. Right? That's the whole idea. If every layer keeps hiring a people better than them, right, then that is where we and we also said that we will have a mix of, right, a senior people, right, who have experience, and also young people who are very hungry, lot of energy. And today, a lot of young people, they come up with a lot of ideas, right? They are very innovative guys. And so actually we said we will set up this experiment, and I still call it a QNu and a great experiment. That is work in progress, partial success. But I think we feel very good about the way we approach the whole talent acquisition. So Varun, the other interesting part comes in, right, in our business, is that getting talent acquisition is one part of it, right? But then how do we keep them motivated? How do we keep them excited, right? Because it's a long gestation period, as we're talking about, takes 4 or 5 years to build IPs and that innovation and so on. So if you're not able to keep people excited for a long period of time, that then you keep replacing people, and then new people comes in, it doesn't help in any way. So what are your thoughts and strategies that you have adopted uh, for this particular key aspect of it?
Yeah, no, I think it's an interesting question, and if I work a lot with human resources as departments in my past, and currently work as well, and I can tell you this is the holy grail question. I'm also very proud to say that from a technology perspective, we don't have that significant churn at our organization here. But then I think if I were to make it more generic and not specific to an organization, for us, I think our our sort of founding belief, if you would, from our founder really is that most things remain undone. Whatever we do, there is more to be done because the future is glorious as we work towards it, and then some more after that. I think there are two or three things that I would like to touch upon. I think one is the environment of experimentation,
Mm.
because as you mentioned, right, I think the ambition that you started with, the mission vision that you started with over the past 7 years, trying to prove everybody that no, there is a market here. It's about our ability to experiment. It's about the ability and the environment to allow people to experiment different ideas, and not just one idea, if you would. I'll give you an example. This is one of my large organizations. I won't take names. We had acquired a small startup, very, very successful startup. And one of our very senior leader was in their board meeting when they were discussing some ideas. And there was an idea A, idea B, and idea C. And then they discussed, and then they all went away and said, look, let's look at the results. So after the meeting was over, our senior leader asked the founding chairman there to say, so which idea did you go for? And his view was, what do you mean? Like, but you had three ideas. Like, we'll try all of them, and we see which one sticks. Right. So I think the idea, to your point, of new ways of thinking, we actually have to embrace them, allow the ideas to prosper, allow failure without any reprehensions around that, if you would. But then also allow people to use tools and technologies. We are, for example, we are experimenting with the new Microsoft Copilot for developers, if you would. So flexible projects, flexible ways, but then most important for us, as you say, for people to come in and we don't want a quick churn, is really around how do we link what people do to the value that they're generating. Because end of the day, everybody will feel motivated if there is a tangible contribution they have done and they have left an indelible mark in whatever they have done.
Very
But
good.
then let me also flick this back to you, right? Because you're in a slightly different industry and slightly different space, if you would. So how do you go about doing that, Sunil?
One of them, though our industry is different, but let me tell you, I think the principles remain the same, right? Uh, I think you touched upon environment is very important, right? Free environment where actually, as I said, we got some of the folks from who are doing PhDs, right? Fresh PhDs and fresh masters in physics, right? From good colleges. They were never seen a career, right, in India to after PhD doing a physics and going into the physics area, right? They used to go into different areas. We brought them in, we gave them opportunities to innovate, right? And of course, when you innovate, it means you are free to make mistakes, you will learn. But idea was that we will give them an environment. Environment is not only about processes, tool systems, and freedom, but also the peers, the equally capable peers, right, who will work together, seniors from whom they can learn from, and give them an environment where it said, we have time, don't worry, right? You go and build IPs and do innovation, uh, write patents, right? So you'll be surprised. We had the guys who was a second year into his job and he did a first patent, right? And he was very excited when you Google it, is find his name there, right? And that was the idea, was that if you are at the cusp of deep tech and you're doing a great, cutting edge work, then the excitement of building that technology, getting your name there, have an IP and patent into the name. But we didn't stop there. We said a lot of companies can do this, but I'm going to give them an opportunity to say, now you build a product, you're going to go to a field, and where we are doing a field trial. You go and see how your product working, learn by interacting with customers, see the good and bad things about your product, come back and then see. We were doing a field trial for a defense in somewhere in Ladakh, and we sent 15 people there, right? And a lot of those guys were very young people. We said, you go there, don't worry. And these guys learned so much, and when they came back, they were so excited because they're connecting that with the end result, right? And really seeing their tech working in reality, and then seeing a customer feedback. It was an absolutely different type of exposure. So I think I will just add to what most of the things you said. Innovation, environment, allow them to do mistakes, learn, but lasting exposure, right? We expose them to newer things, which normally we say is only meant for senior people. But if you break those barriers, I think it really creates wonders, right? And other important part is somewhere, I think that in deep tech companies, startup company, another aspect of it, where especially for young people, that how do you build uh, some sort of a knack of risk taking, which means that you're ready to forego a short-term benefits for a long-term rewards, which not only in terms of monetary, but in terms of learning. Because as you stay longer in a product organization, your learning become exponentially larger, right? So I think that as a role model examples, and for people to really see, I think that is what my view is, that makes the whole difference.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So now I think interesting part that I'm very eager to ask you, uh, which we don't do much, but I think is very important for our audience to know from you, that how a deep tech company use a deep tech to really transform their whole operations, right?
Oh yeah, it's a very interesting question. Look, I think I don't think we are a very deep tech product organization. I think we build our own products and we want to leverage as much deep tech as possible. But at the core of it, we are a retail organization here. And I've worked with large organizations. General Electric at the time when I was working was about 300,000. Unilever was about 150,000, and IKEA is about Inca is about 177,000 people, predominantly in retail in this organization. If you think about where retail overall has a significantly higher churn probably versus a lot of other industries. So we absolutely leverage deep technology, some that we have built ourselves and some that we buy in the market. For product organizations such as yourselves, as you sort of build more models, etc. around that, is really helping us understanding how can we do higher volume hiring and bring efficiency into our own processes, if you will. For example, I'm a huge fan of gamification. We're looking at how do we sort of leverage gamification for do competency assessments. It's fantastic when you sort of think about how deep technology and how deep tech algorithms can map human behavior out, if you would, and then say what would be the best fit for the organization and the propensity to lead and the propensity to stay in the organization for longer term. But then finally, I think also understanding that great talent can come from anywhere, both external as well as internal. So how do we sort of create an internal marketplace where technology can map, ping, and surface non-usual career opportunities for people to say, hey, you've been building something like this here, but what about building something adjacent to that here, which you would not normally think and associate? But then, technology and the deep tech can really help us look past our own biases around some of those things. And that's very, very helpful for us, and significant value that we feel we have added using some of this technology as well. But how about you, Sunil? What's your view on this?
Yeah, I mean, very interesting thought. Though, of course, I'm a big fan of AI. Last assignment, actually, we did a AI product. We built an AI product, India's first AI product in cybersecurity. Uh, but having said that, I have dabbled more with human intelligence in QNu Labs. And idea was that because hiring a talent and retaining them is really the most important thing. I think one of the most important thing. So what we have done is that we have spent time with people, right? We spend a lot of time with people even before we hire them, right? I'll give you an example. One of the guy we hired a few months ago, a senior guy, he's a software architect, and we have been talking to him for 8 months, right, continuously. And he has done some work on his own in quantum tech. He was a very nice guy, good skills, very good aptitude. But we wanted him to be make sure that he's not just doing a jump from one job to another job, and and he's not just taking it just because we're giving him a 10% extra, right? We just wanted him to really come back to us with a lot more insights and a lot more clarity in why he wants to join QNu and how it will help his career, and how would it help him contribute to us and so on. And we work with him for a long time. I spent time, our CTO spent time with him, and eventually he went and joined somewhere else, right in between, because he was doing that. And but because we were constantly talking to him and we were showing him a different vision and what we are doing, and he was constantly following us. Within a couple of months, he came back to us and said, hey, I think I did a mistake. I want to come back and I want to look at it. We still took 2 months. We're saying you just want to see. So involving them at a very deep level, right? Sharing openly what we do. A lot of things we share, of course, IP we don't, but we are very open book in terms of what are we doing, what is our vision, where are we in our product roadmap. Call them over, show them our products, right? Walk them through our technology, and then people come back and saying, I want to do this, right? And I'm committed to doing this. So I somehow felt that deep tech is important. Startups, they sometimes don't have the money like IKEA to invest in a lot of AI tools and so on. Of course, there are so many freeware tools also available. But I think we spend a lot more time in more spending human intelligence, spending time with people. And but having said that, now we are planning to implement some of the tools and processes as we scale our organization,
Super.
right? So is a AI plus HI to me is a is a key actually, yeah.
Super. I think we're about time, Sunil, but this is super, super, super helpful insights. If you would, really, really appreciate your time here. I had really
Same
good
here,
time
Varun.
in this chat as well.
Enjoy talking to you.
But shall we just hand over to Avinash then now? So thank you very much, and I'm sure there will be opportunities for us to interact more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Varun.